Max, that takes us to The Teacher. Now, The Teacher might look familiar to those of you who are film connoisseurs.
This is so wild.
Well, you immediately, when you go back and watch it, you'll know who she is.
Yeah.
So The Teacher is played by Lynn Shay.
Yep.
If you don't know who Lynn Shay is, I need you to go back. There are 2 movies, only 2 movies you need to watch. No, there's 2. You got to go watch Kingpin.
Yeah.
And you got to go watch Something About Mary.
Oh my God, the tanning scene.
And let's go to Kingpin first. She is the disgusting landlord who, to help, Roy Munson.
Yeah.
Took me a minute. Don't you Munson this, Max. Munson didn't have his rent, and she worked out a little
side
deal. And then in Something About Mary,
Magda.
She's Magda. She's getting the self-tanning little dog. She's amazing. But in this movie, she's totally normal, totally chill.
Yeah.
She's a teacher. Welcome to Buzzn The Tower, a podcast dedicated to the movies of the 1980s. Prepare to be stuffed in our DeLorean and taken on a trip through the best decade of film ever.
Hey Mo, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. So if you love Caddyshack, The Goonies, Aliens, Weird Science, Spies Like Us, The Great Outdoors, Empire Strikes Back, The Great Muppet Caper, Pretty in Pink, Predator, Rocky IV, Roadhouse, Say Anything, Real Genius, Short Circuit, Some Kind of Wonderful, Beverly Hills Cop, Akira, Tango and Cash, The Breakfast Club, and They Live, just to name a few, then sit back, relax, and get ready to be entertained. Because we came here to chew bubblegum and podcast about 80s movies, and we're all out of bubblegum. If you haven't already, subscribe to Buzzn The Tower on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast platform is. And while you're there, leave a review and a 5-star rating. It's a moral imperative! You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, and all social media platforms by searching the tag @Buzzn The Tower. That's BUZZN The Tower. Also, check out our website, buzzinthetower.com, and grab some officially licensed gear. It's so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking some up. Now, if you want to get nuts, let's get nuts. Head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/BuzzinTheTower. With memberships as low as $3 a month, you can have access to tons of extra content, and a portion of all proceeds go directly to Save Ferris. Dark O'Shea, darling, Dark O'Shea. Buzzn The Tower is brought to you by Sonic Loans. You can find them at sonicloans.com. Max, do you know what scares me?
Everything scares me.
Elm Street scares me.
Living there?
Well, just the whole idea that you could be murdered in your nightmare and all that kind of jazz. October's a time to be scared, but it's also a great time to refinance your mortgage or buy a new house. If you need a mortgage and you want the best rate available and you want the best team available, you got to go to Sonic Loans. There's nothing scary about them. They don't have a Freddy Krueger on staff. So Charlie and the team are going to make sure that you get the best available loan, get into the best mortgage. You name it, they're going to take care of it. 15-year, 30-year, fixed adjustable. Now is the time to get into your dream home, or at a minimum, just refinance a bad mortgage you might have. Tell them that Buzzn The Tower sent you. Get into the right loan and enjoy the fruits of your labor without being murdered in your sleep by a clawed villain named Freddy Krueger.
NMLS number 1955855. Not available in all states. Not a commitment to lend. Additional requirements apply. Visit sonicloans.com or call 313-488-4888 for more information.
Buzzn The Tower is brought to you by Bolton Legal Group. You can find them at boltonlegalgroup.com. For a free consultation, call 248-595-0001. Ian is terrified of horror films. Like October, for you and Ian, it's
I can relate.
2 least favorite times of the year. He's a giant chicken just like you are. But what he's not afraid of is going into court and winning your case. He's going to protect. Bolton Legal Group is efficient, energetic, bird law, real estate law.
What do you represent, Freddie?
Probably not. I don't think he's child murder law, but he'd probably stay away from that. He's going to make sure that you get the right representation, that you're not put in a bad situation. He's going to make sure that the judge knows that the judge's worst nightmare is Bolton Legal Group, not Freddy Krueger.
Scary.
It's terrifying. So make sure you reach out to Bolton Legal Group. Tell them that Buzzn The Tower sent you. They're going to take care of you. They're going to get you out of your problem, save you money, and you'll win the day. Just like in Teen Wolf. Win in the end. Today's episode, Recasting A Nightmare on Elm Street. Welcome to October, a month dedicated to the horror films of the 1980s. Freddy, Jason, Michael, Myers, not Jackson, and of course Pinhead, just to name a few. What better way to kick off the month than to visit a true classic and then recast it? Written and directed by Wes Craven, A Nightmare on Elm Street started a franchise that has collectively grossed over $472 million, but more importantly, has made generations of children and some adults afraid to fall asleep. Today on Buzzn The Tower, we'll take the original Nightmare on Elm Street and recast its characters with other actors and actresses from the 1980s. I'm Mo Shapiro, and joining me as always, the Nancy Thompson to my Freddy Krueger, Max Sanders. And with that, Max, I just want you to listen to this music.
No, I don't want to.
Soak it up, Max.
I'm your boyfriend now, Mo.
Soak up this.
Phone tongue.
The phone tongue is so foul. Oh, it's the worst.
I hate this month.
Max, October's here.
It's my favorite month outside of this. You torture me. You know what I did this morning?
Woke up scared.
No, I had a big bowl of oatmeal and I watched the first 2/3 of Hellraiser.
Yeah. Oh, keep that. Don't talk about that yet. That's an upcoming episode.
Yeah.
I want to hear all about your pains and your pleasures and your delights.
Frank's a degenerate.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was.
No. Well, I mean, you're both kind of degenerates in your own way.
I relate to the squishy guy with
Hey, Max,
the Morpheus sunglasses.
What, we're not having our Hellraiser podcast today.
I'm just telling you what's going on in my life.
Shh, that's sad. Incredibly sad.
Why? That I watched Hellraiser? Because you forced me to?
Max, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Today we begin Oktoberfest.
Yep.
Scarefest.
You made me watch all 8 Freddy movies in a week.
That's right. You loved them.
I didn't mind it.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
The most fun and easy to watch.
Let's start with
Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors. Let's start with the obvious. Welcome to the show, all of our listeners. If you have not subscribed or followed us yet, please do on any podcast platform. Leave us a nice review. It's been about a month and a half since we had a review. I chalked that one up to old Max over there. But if you're not doing anything,
whoops, slipping on a banana.
It's all right. Leave us a review. Also, please check us out on social media at Buzzn The Tower. The other thing is our Patreon. If you are looking to up your game, if you don't want to be visited by murderers in your sleep, the best way is to go to patreon.com/Buzzn The Tower.
You can FaceTime us and we'll scare away the demons.
Max will FaceTime with you. I don't know that I will. So
I would.
In addition to that, BuzzNTheTower.com, pick up officially licensed merchandise. Spaceballs, the merchandise.
Yogurt.
I hate yogurt. We need to have a Spaceballs episode. Make a note.
Yeah, I'd be down.
That should be the after the month of scare stuff. That should be our next full movie episode.
That and Airplane. Dial it down.
That'd be great. All right. So what have I missed? Is that it? That covers everything?
Yeah.
All right, great. Today's episode, we are going to recast. We love our recasting episodes. We're going to recast Nightmare on Elm Street. The rules are pretty simple. Once you select someone from a movie, so if we're recasting Nightmare on Elm Street, right? And we get all the way to Freddy Krueger, played by Robert Englund.
Yep.
When we recast his character, I not only have to give you the character. So if I want it to be Rodney Dangerfield, a strong pick. I hope I didn't pick your pick.
That would be fun.
It'd be great. I can't just say Rodney Dangerfield.
Thornton Mellon.
I got to give you an idea of what character I'm thinking of for Rodney Dangerfield. Am I thinking of Al Cervic from Caddyshack?
Yep, that's his name.
Am I thinking, is it? I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Am I thinking Thornton Mellon from Back to School?
Ooh, hard trivia question.
Right.
Easy money. What was his name?
Oh, no clue.
Me neither.
No clue. So that's part of the rules. The other part of the rule is you can't pick the same movie or the same actor or actress more than once.
Yep.
You can. If it's I pick the movie, you can pick the movie, but we can't do each other.
We don't really cross movie that
We
much.
don't. Never cross the streams.
Yeah.
Never, ever cross the streams. But that's really the only rules, I think, right?
Yeah.
You got to name the movie that you're referencing. By the way, I have a couple rule breakers today because I always break the rules. I have a couple for sure rule breakers.
It's Keanu Reeves.
You're going to be annoyed. I am a nightmare machine.
Him as Freddy would be really terrible.
Great. Be great. All right, Max, other than that, I've got no rules, no regulations. We didn't do every character. We did some of the characters, but we're doing close to every character. But I mean, that's kind of like the...
Yeah, you cut the cops, you jerk.
That's kind of the coziness of a film like this.
There's not many
people to do. So before we jump into recasting...
did you feel sacrilegious about recasting this one? I felt okay. It's not that bad to do this one.
You know what? Before we get it, let's talk about A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, 1984, best movie year ever.
So if you give me a moment to wax emotional about this, I'll then let you run with God knows how many facts you have on this.
I have some good ones.
I bet you have some good ones. If you were born in 1978 like I was,
yep,
making me, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, when Nightmare on Elm Street 2, 3, 4 were coming out, and I shouldn't have watched these, but I somehow got a hold of them.
As that came out?
Yeah, I don't think in the theater, but like pretty close after on VHS.
Cool dad.
Someone's older brother. No, someone's older brother got a hold of it.
Yeah.
But when you're in that age, I'm going to say like, 10, 11, 12, even early 90s. This was all I ever did is I rented these, right? So like early 90s when I'm becoming a teenager, I'm renting, Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm renting Caddyshack, these kind of like soft R, comedies and then horror
nudity
films.
and violence.
When you dress up for Halloween, anytime in the late 80s and 90s, you're going either as a ninja. I mean, you're doing like, Braddock, or you're doing like Chuck Norris, or you're for sure, every year there was at least a half a dozen Freddy Kruegers.
Yeah. Did you ever do it?
I did. And it was a huge fight with my mom because the gloves with the knives on them, not the sharp one, the plastic one, was exceptionally expensive.
Really?
If you went to unless you had like a creative mom who like built one for you.
Yeah, you should just buy tomato knives.
No, I did the real, like the costume one. And
the officially licensed.
And it was like $50, which back then is
it was like $2,000.
$2,000 now, I know, right? But like this,
where'd you come up with that number?
It's a lot. I don't even know. So when you're getting into this part of your life, you're making some big decisions. You're either going to be
a child killer.
No, there's so many binary decisions that get made when you're younger. Like for instance, am I going to be a Bugs Bunny guy or am I going to be a Mickey Mouse guy? Am I going to be a Pepsi guy? Am I going to be a Coke guy?
I go Mickey and Coke.
Yeah, you would. You would.
Do you?
I'm
Pepsi
Bugs Bunny and Coke.
Okay.
I love Disney, but I'm an old school. Warner Brothers was my gig when I was growing up.
Yeah, Pepsi sucked.
You're really diverting.
Sorry.
Come back to me.
Okay.
You there?
Yep.
All right, good.
Hi.
I know there's a lot going on in that little head of yours today.
My head's bigger than yours. No, you got a fat head.
Yeah, I do have a fat head. But when you talk about horror films, and I'm not discounting, Pinhead, I'm not discounting Mike Myers, but
Jason or Freddy guy?
It's Freddy or Jason.
Yeah.
Everybody grew up, you either put the hockey mask on or you put the fedora on.
I dressed as Jason one year.
Which is ironic because I suspect you were in your 20s before you saw a horror.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. They put it on.
I'm a hockey player. My name's Max. I'm a hockey player.
I liked holding a machete.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I rode hard for Freddy. Freddy was my guy. And we...
Oh, but wait, one last thing.
Yeah.
My best Halloween costume ever when I was 8. This is how weird I was as a kid. I dressed as Ross Perot.
Sure.
I had big ears.
That sounds exactly
like
something
I'm worth $4 billion.
God, that's super weird.
It is really strange.
Halloween was a different holiday for you than it was for me. We've talked about Jaws a lot, the original Jaws, and why it's such a horrifying movie. There's some real evolutionary logic behind it. That part of why Jaws is terrifying is that in our DNA, one of our greatest fears is being eaten alive by something because we were programmed to be very scared of the most realistic way we would probably die thousands of years ago, which is being eaten alive.
Oh.
That's in part why it's so animalistic and so raw. Nightmare on Elm Street taps into something also horrific and terrifying, which is dreams.
Yeah, you can't control them.
And not only can you not control them, but the very idea that you could die and that you could be murdered in your sleep. And then what happens? You go to sleep and have a nightmare. It's perfectly built. And Wes Craven, oh man, Wes Craven is the Picasso of horror films. I mean,
The Hills Have Eyes, The Last House on the Left, Vampire in Brooklyn. I actually really like a lot. I can't believe he did that. I didn't know he did that.
That's amazing.
Cursed, Shocker. He just did a lot of fun movies.
A Nightmare on Elm Street was. I'm trying to think. Like you have these movies that we had Brian Volk-Weiss, who was the movies that made us, and I think this is one of them because this is one of those transformational films that just changed everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking Friday the 13th, which is incredible.
Well, slasher versus dreamscape are two different genres. Like,
also and again,
they're the forefathers of that.
He was not that campy in the first one. Like he progressively got more and more campy.
Yeah, he's not really that much campy in this one. It's the I'm your boyfriend now.
Yeah, I know.
Or I like when his arms are all long and when you're in a movie theater and you have to use the bathroom. Do you ever do that? You put your arms all long and you feel both sides of the walls.
I also never dressed like Ross Perot for Halloween, so we're on a different page. That's
never mind.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean there are things in this film that are just terrifying, and it's
melting stairs.
It's a classic. And in addition to being a classic, the number I gave in the intro, almost $500 million of generated net profit from the whole collection of films.
Yeah, and it started with this $1.8 million movie.
Right. And I really, I wouldn't be surprised if another one was on its way. Don't you feel like it's coming with all the reboots and remakes?
2010s was so bad.
I know. And it had so much potential because I love that guy from
Jackie
Watchmen.
Earl. Yeah. Yeah.
He could have been so good.
I know.
That's okay though. All right, Max, I spoke poetically of the film long enough. let's talk about some facts about the film.
Give us the plot synopsis
You
first.
love a good plot synopsis.
I do. Synopsis me.
Teenager Nancy Thompson must uncover the dark truth concealed by her parents after she and her friends become targets of the spirit of a serial killer with a bladed glove in their dreams, in which if they die, it kills them in real life. This guy murdered 20 kids.
Yep. And they originally had it as him being a molester, but they were like, that's too weird.
Yeah, I think I've referenced him being a molester, and then I rewatched the movie. I'm like, oh no, he just murdered them.
No, in the new one, in the Jackie Earl one,
they
the
mentioned
2010.
he was a molester.
Yeah.
Got it. So in the original A Nightmare on Elm Street, he's a much nicer guy. He just murders the kids. And he does it in some horrifying boiler room using a glove made out of knives. The opening of this movie is him breathing really heavy, putting on his glove of knives.
Yeah, do you want to hear something wild, though?
Yes.
The first time you see Freddy doing that,
Yeah.
that's not Robert Englund.
Who is it?
That's Charles Bernadelli, who was the special effects man, because he was the only one who knew how to cut the glove and insert the blades. So the first time we see Freddy, it's actually not Freddy.
Well, there you go.
Isn't that cool? Oh,
Fact number one.
does that mean you're done?
No, sorry. That was like a legit, there you go. Not one of my like move
I
on to
can't
your
tell
next
with
point.
you.
That's fair. It's fair.
And special effects wise, do you know how much they spent on this movie?
What?
$57,000 on special effects.
You know, these early slashers, it's kind of wild.
Well,
how
with like the
little they
melting
spend on
floor?
shit. I know.
Yeah, it looks good.
And you know the thing about the melting floor that's kind of cool is that in dreams, one of the things, and I'm sure I'm not like a dream expert except for the song Dream Warriors.
Like the running and stuff.
And not
Yeah.
being able to run.
It's the worst.
And not being able to like move quick enough. And
Yeah.
and even when they chase each other in dreams, it looks like they're kind of mocking tongue in cheek, like the inability to run.
Yeah, or like you have to stop and stare at Freddy for a
Yeah,
second. And you're
that's
like,
great.
and the maggot stuff in his blood.
Yeah,
Oh my
oh,
God.
Jesus,
So
all right.
gross.
So this is directed by Wes Craven, written by Wes Craven.
Yeah, it
We'll
is.
talk about the actors and actresses when we actually get into it, but the name you need to know is Johnny Depp. This was his film debut.
Which is wild.
Wild.
So Wes Craven's daughter at the time, she said if her dad didn't cast him, she was going to run away from home.
Makes sense. I mean, he's a heartthrob, man.
He's a good actor too.
Yeah, he was. In this movie, though, it's kind of funny. Like
He's not great.
He's not great.
Yeah, but the whole movie's not
But
great.
everybody's very flat in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun to recast because I don't think anybody outside of Robert Englund, I don't think anybody in this movie really blew me away with their performance.
I like the lieutenant, the dad.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. Okay. Maybe him. So Max, let's start with the facts. Just the facts. Nothing but the facts. What do you got?
Over 200 actresses auditioned for Nancy. I won't say who because I don't want to pick one of yours.
Yeah.
But that's insane.
It's a lot.
Although the fact that still blows my mind about auditioning stuff, they said they had 6,000 people audition for Dolph Lundgren. Is there that many people?
Audition for Dolph Lundgren?
I mean, for, what's his name?
Drago.
Yeah.
I was like, is there a Dolph Lundgren autobiography that I'm unaware of? Because that'd be
I'd watch it.
amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Should I do my best fact first?
No, build up to it. Give me a crescendo.
Okay.
How about this? Before you do any facts, the original story, I'll tell you what that's about. You may not have that. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So the original story, Wes Craven when he was a kid, which by the way, of all of the childhoods that I'd like to know about, Wes Craven's at the bottom of my list.
Okay, you go. Okay, there you go.
He must have like a terrifying childhood.
Yeah, it's gonna be awful.
Yeah, awful. So some drunk, scary, horrifying guy in a fedora was like outside his window when he was a kid.
When he was 10.
And he noted that's terrifying. And so he has this idea of Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger, he named him after his high school bully.
He did.
If you want to talk about the ultimate revenge, like if you've got an ex-girlfriend, what's this is great. What's the crazy kill the bunny fatal attraction? What's her character's name?
Oh my God. It's going close. Alex Forrest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you want to pay back your ex-girlfriend
Yeah, you
and
name
you're
her
a
Alex
screenwriter,
Forrest, yeah.
you name like, oh man, my ex-girlfriend from high school, her name was Alex Forrest. You create this. If there's a bully that you don't like,
Yeah.
for the rest of his life, there's a guy at my fire station who just joined whose last name is Krueger. And I'm like, I know you've heard this before. He's like, yeah, I know. Freddy Krueger. I get it. Like that, he destroyed that name. Like Wes Craven literally destroyed the name Fred Krueger forever.
Yeah.
I don't even think you can have the name Fred without people being like Fred Krueger.
Not many Freds anymore.
No.
Which is
Drop
good.
Dead Fred.
I mean, that's the movie.
That's the movie. That's about it. And then go ahead, Max. I said I would. I got a few facts, but I want you to go. What do you got?
The sparking glove was created by attaching the glove to a car battery. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah. And the scraping noise, they do a really good job with it. Is a steak knife scratching against the underside of a metal chair.
All right.
Yeah. And the guy who did all the special effects, Jim Doyle, really weird career.
You sure it wasn't O'Doyle?
Doyle rules. He did Friday the 13th, like the 7th one, Loaded Weapon 1, Showgirls, and The Nutty Professor. So it's like he did all these weird like little movies. Then he did The Nutty Professor, which has some of the best special effects work. What do you do on Showgirls? That's what I want to know. Elizabeth Berkley, come here.
Oh,
I'm so
man.
scared.
I'm so scared. The red and green stripes on Freddy Krueger's jumper
Yeah.
were picked because Craven read a science journal that said that those are the two most clashing colors for the human retina.
Which is wild to think because that's Christmas colors.
Yeah.
So you'd think they'd be pleasing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess.
I know. Originally, they were going to be red and yellow. Okay, that's creepy.
So there you go.
Do you see that new David Harbour Santa movie? It looks awesome.
I got like 20 people that texted me and they're like, you got to check this out.
But he was supposed to be red and yellow originally because it's like Plastic Man because he could stretch and do all those kind of things.
Little Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah. There's one fact I didn't think was real. It said this is the first film ever to use a breakaway mirror. I don't even know what a breakaway mirror is.
know.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it's the first. It did it.
Why don't we leave that out since neither of us can speak to it?
Okay. Elm Street is never spoken in this movie.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's not.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Show,
do
don't
they show
tell.
do they show the sign?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
they showed
yeah,
the sign,
yeah.
so I wasn't sure.
And I love this. The knives were tomato knives. They were Case XXP2110 knives.
Robert Englund was a trained Shakespearean actor, and apparently he's like legitimately one of the nicest people in the world.
Yeah, he seems like he has a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
Like on interviews.
Did you ever see the Wes Craven movie that was like breaking the fourth wall about
New Nightmare.
is it New Nightmare?
It's 94. It's that one. Yeah.
Did you ever see it?
Yeah.
It's
I watched
cool.
all of them.
Oh, that's right. You did.
Yeah.
I forgot you watched all of them.
Yeah. It's like very like she's an actress, right?
Yeah,
It's like actually
yeah, yeah.
Heather
Yeah,
Langenkamp
yeah.
and stuff like that. Okay, my last fact is like my max mind blower. Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down?
Well, I've got a smaller one before you give me your
Okay.
mind blower. This is not, I guess it's a fact, but it's just funny because we talked about in Breakin' when they were dancing on the ceiling. And then we
Yeah.
also talked about dancing on the ceiling. And all these are based off of the Fred Astaire Royal Wedding where he does that in the movie.
Yeah.
And they use that technology as well for the scene when Tina's gutted like a fish on the ceiling.
Oh, that's cool.
A lot of blood.
Yeah.
A lot of blood that destroyed equipment, like gallons of this like blood everywhere. Like they had a power outage because of all the blood that was flying around. It's a lot of blood.
I have another breaking reference later.
Code of
actually.
blood technique.
Yeah. The electric boogaloo one.
There you go.
Yeah. But this is all right. Sit down, everyone.
I'm sitting.
So the idea for this movie about dreams like killing you and all.
Yes.
Do you know how Wes Craven got this idea?
I do. It was an article about...
No.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I do know this fact, but go ahead.
How did you not say this then? It's
Because
so cool.
I wanted to leave the good ones for you.
Okay. He's reading a series of LA Times articles where a group of Southeast Asian refugees escaped the murderous reign of this guy named Pol Pot, apparently.
Everybody knows him.
Is it really?
No.
Oh, okay. So within a year, all three men died in the same way. They were young, healthy men who would have a nightmare and then refuse to sleep. And then from exhaustion, they'd finally fall asleep. And when they awoke, they started screaming and then they died. And when they did the autopsy report on these three guys, there was no heart failure. They just died instantly and unexpectedly. So there's no cause of death. It's called Asian death syndrome, and it's a variant of sudden unexpected death syndrome.
That's, yeah.
Isn't that creepy?
It's a little creepy.
Yeah.
I hope I don't have that. I hope you don't have that either.
I know. Like Sid's...
China.
Don't say
That's
that.
how Trump would call it.
Oh.
China death syndrome.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I thought you were... Okay.
The look on your face.
Your Trump isn't very Trumpy.
It's not very... I can't do a good Trump. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That sounds like Leo Getz.
Yeah, you're right.
It sounds nothing like Trump.
Yeah. Well, good for us. We can't do Trump.
That's good. There you go. All right, Max. I think we have covered all the exciting, fun things we wanted to cover. We want to hop into the movie now. We gave a quick synopsis, but basically to get a little bit deeper into it, you've got this girl, Tina, and her friend Nancy. And Tina and Nancy are best of friends.
They are.
And they're dealing with all the things you deal with in high school. Boys, alcoholic, absent mothers, like just standard stuff.
Yep.
And while they're hanging out with each other, Tina...
Standard thing.
Tina's been having nightmares.
Yep.
So Tina and Nancy head to school, as often girls do when they're in high school.
Right.
And Nancy is dating Glenn. Glenn Lance.
Yep.
By the way, Glenn is a great name for Johnny Depp. Like, take the most handsome debonair actor you can and call him Glenn.
Like Glenn Powell Jr.
No, but it makes me think of, and I don't know why, makes me think of Groundhog's Day when Bill Murray, remember, what's the guy's name?
The sales guy?
Yeah, what's his name?
God.
Ned Ryerson?
Ryerson,
whatever it is.
He's
It makes me think of
ugly,
that.
though.
So Nancy's dating Glenn and Tina's dating Rod Lane, played by Sue Garcia, JSU.
Yep.
Is that Sue?
Good enough.
Sue Garcia.
Yeah.
And they all show up, and Tina's having the most visceral dreams, but then she kind of starts sharing this dream. And then all of a sudden, Nancy's like, oh, I had a bad dream too.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we realize everybody's having horrible dreams that are all about the same terrifying child killing murder.
But she's the only one voicing it, really.
Correct.
Yeah.
She probably had the worst of the dreams. So they all make their lies up and decide to spend the night over at Tina's because Tina's mom
Is a lush.
Is a lush and like went to Vegas with some guy. I will say, like, they're
Was it Vegas? I don't remember that.
It's Vegas because remember they're saying the daughter's daughter's mom and boyfriend are in Vegas. We're trying to get in touch with them
That's
now.
awesome.
But the funnier part about this, there's these little moments like when Tina wakes up and has her nightmare at the beginning of the movie. Her mom comes in and is like, you need to decide either to cut your nails or wear a different nightgown or something because she had like cuts across her nightgown. And the boyfriend's like, you coming back in the room? Like to the mom. So it's just immediately trashy and sketchy.
Yep.
So I'm sorry. I'm not going to do a whole movie on this. You'll punch me in the face.
No, she's wonderful.
I know. It's great. So they basically uncover that Freddy is one by one murdering them in their sleep.
Yep.
They start with Tina. She gets murdered first while the boyfriend's in the room. The boyfriend escapes, terrified, thinking he's going to get blamed for it because who's going to believe that his girlfriend floated up to the ceiling and gushed, quart of blood all over the floor. Then Nancy, whose dad is a cop and his mom is an alcoholic, which is great. Nancy starts having dreams about Freddy Krueger and also her friend Tina, who's dead. So
Rod dies, Glenn dies.
Rod dies, Glenn dies, Tina's already dead.
Yep.
And then who else? Is that it?
The mom dies.
Well, we don't know.
Kinda
dies, but we're not sure.
Yeah.
And so that's your movie. Which, as far as body count's concerned, 4 is really not that bad.
No.
So we're not doing a whole movie review right now. We're just doing a recast. But I want to give you a little taste, a little flavor, if you will. So the characters that we have, we've got. What you want to hop into the characters?
Yeah, let's do
recasting? All right, let's list the characters that we're doing. Hold on. So we are recasting Mr. and Mrs. Lance, who are the parents of Johnny Depp's character Blaine.
Glenn. Sergio.
The nurse, so at some point in this movie as well, Nancy's mom takes them to a sleep institution.
Yep.
I think the sign literally says like sleep institution on it. There's a doctor and there's a nurse.
Yep.
So we're recasting the doctor and the nurse. There's a teacher in their classroom. We're recasting the teacher. We've got Tina we're recasting. Rod we're recasting. We've got Marge Thompson, who is the drunk mother of Nancy Thompson. We've got Glenn, Johnny Depp, who we're recasting. Lieutenant Thompson, Nancy's father, who's also a police lieutenant.
And was also the uncle of a friend of ours.
What?
Scorchio, remember? He's Scorchio's uncle.
Scorchio's uncle, you're right. I totally forgot.
He passed away, but yeah.
Great call. And then, of course, Nancy and Fred Krueger. Frederick R. Krueger.
What's more important, Freddy or Nancy?
Freddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy's so replaceable. Everybody's I'm telling you, I love this movie.
Yeah.
The acting is crap across the board, and Freddy Krueger is the only thing worth watching, but it's great.
And good music. I like the synth.
The synth is great.
Yeah.
All right, Max, I'm ready to start recasting. You, my friend, can choose who you'd like to go first, who you'd like to go second.
I'll go first.
You'll go first. I'm going to warn you right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to break all the rules today.
Are you going to do cartoon characters?
No,
or something?
I've got something up my sleeve, though.
A dog?
I went a little wacky.
A Muppet?
Not a Muppet. You always think it's a Muppet. All right, Max, you are starting, and we're going to start off with Mrs. Lance, the mother of Johnny Depp's character. You really don't get a ton of them short of...
She's cool, though. She's joking with him, like, you can tell she's the cool mom.
Yeah, like you really only get when everybody goes back to their respective houses after Tina's been killed and Nancy's blowing up their phone wanting to talk to Blaine and...
Stop calling him Blaine.
What's his name?
Glenn,
whatever. So that's when you really get a taste of the parents. And like the dad's a jerk. The mom's kind of cool. That's the end of it. Max, this is played by Sandy Lipton.
Who was Miss Schneider in Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I was waiting for that, my friend.
And she's also Miss Grossman in The Untouchables.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And she was on Chips.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of these actors were on Chips.
Excellent work.
Yeah.
Excellent research as usual, Max.
So fun mom. This was easy for me. I went for my MVP for cool moms. I went Carol Kane, Miss Anderson, and License to Drive.
That's a good one.
She's just hippy dippy and fun and
I like
flowy.
it.
You want to feel
one.
a connection. You want to feel bad that Glenn died.
Is she a little too goofy? You know what? I'm going to shut up. On the first 2, I can't criticize you because of what I chose to do.
Who'd you pick?
No, go. Anything else you want to add?
Just really fun. And I just feel like their relationship, even though it's like 10 seconds, it makes you feel bad that Glenn dies. And also that this is like a real person that he's the one you feel the worst for, I think, out of everybody.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's because of that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of blood. Also a lot of blood.
Oh, no. Yeah. You know, they were originally going to show his body, but they did decide not to.
Yeah.
I wonder what it looked like.
I don't know. I don't remember which one, but there's another Nightmare on Elm Street that involves a waterbed, and there's like a naked woman in the waterbed.
Yeah, I remember. That's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 3 is Dream Warriors.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the Psych
no,
Institute.
it's 4? I can't.
It's in the Psych Institute, and he's like strapped to the bed, and like the bed becomes like a waterbed thing.
No, he's in home.
Oh.
He's at home.
Okay.
So it's not Dream Warriors. Good call.
Yeah.
It's not the Psych Institute.
All right, what's yours?
Max, I'm trying out a new bit for the show. It's called a Mo Audible. A Moddable. Mo-audible. A mobbable. I'm pulling a fast one.
Okay,
Give me a sound effect. Hit one of the sound effect buttons. Ooh,
It's spooky.
that's a good one. You got another one? All right.
Yours is a joke.
Yeah. I've never in my life wished that we had cameras more than right now, the amount of difficulty that you have pressing a button that is a square inch by a square inch is incredible.
My computer screen's blocking it.
Slide it aside. Are you working off your computer when you press the buttons?
Yes.
Slide the computer. You're such an ape. It's amazing. Coco-like button.
What's your freaking modable?
I'm giving you a twofer. I'm
Okay.
giving you Mr. and Mrs. Lance right now. So Mr. Lance is played by Ed
Quato.
Call. Is that Quato?
No, I'm saying
right.
you picked Quato.
Ed Call. Who's he? You got anything for him?
He was in Airplane too. And Walking Tall, the original.
Excellent.
And in Chips.
Good work. Max, I'm going to put two of them together.
Yep.
Give me Gary's parents, Weird Science.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, you like that? Now,
that was my backup.
to help myself
Yeah.
from having two from the same movie, let's start with Gary's mom, played by Barbara Lang, who did nothing else. I couldn't find anything else of relevance, but she was played by Lucy Wallace. She's got the a little bit more neurotic than the cool mom is in here, but I still think loved Gary very much, Gary.
I don't know.
could
She
see
seemed
it.
awful.
She's awful. You're right.
Yeah.
I hated recasting these characters because they suck. But here's the exciting thing. Britt Leach, who plays Al Wallace,
Yep.
Gary's dad. If you were to put up a fight, I could have also picked Britt Leach from another movie instead of
What
Gary's
movie?
dad. When I say this, you're going to be like, holy crap, I can't believe I forgot about this. So here's the one you didn't know. He was in Silent Night, Deadly Night. So
No.
in honor of our horror films of the 80s, I could have
Yeah.
gone with that. More importantly, I'm going to give you a clue. The person I'm thinking of
Okay.
has been struck by lightning 66 times.
The Great Outdoors?
The Great Outdoors. The
Yeah.
guy who got shot by lightning is Gary's dad from Weird Science.
Okay, that's
You're
pretty cool.
welcome.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
that's my Mo Audible.
Yeah, the
two for one.
the dad-
Gary's parents.
The dad I agree with. The mom, you got lazy.
I know, but I wanted Gary's parents.
My backup for the mom was Amy Madigan, who played Annie Kinsella in Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool.
All right. I'll
Yeah.
look at it.
And my
No Diane Weist. I thought you and I would.
no, I'm done with
squeeze
her.
in.
I'm done with her.
Ah.
But for Mr. Lance, I went John Hurd, who played Paul in Big. I don't get it.
No.
You know?
I know.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
He's kind of a jerk.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Max, that takes us down with our first two. Down with the sickness.
Why?
Ooh, and we move on to the nurse, who was Mimi Craven,
Yeah.
Wes Craven's wife.
Ex-wife.
Well, yes, he's dead, so everybody's ex-wife at that
No,
point.
I think.
They were only married 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, short period of time.
Yeah.
Do you know that, well, I don't want to get into my facts on her because my facts on her lead into who I picked. Am I up first or are you up first?
You can go first.
I'll go first. So Mimi Craven, do you know who her best friend is?
Cindy Crawford?
No.
Oh.
Her best friend is who I picked to replace her
How'd you know this?
because I know things. I'm going to
Okay.
tell you how I know things. Sharon Stone,
Oh.
Claire Matson from Police Academy 4 Citizens on Patrol,
Yeah.
or Patrice Delaplane from Action Jackson, or Sarah Toscani from Above the Law. I give you any three of those
She's
Sharon
great in all
Stones.
those.
She's great in all of them. I picked her because she looks a lot like Mimi.
Yeah.
And they're best friends. So Mimi was a flight attendant for Delta Airlines.
Awesome.
She also
And Wes is like, want to be scared,
pretty
baby?
much, yeah. Like, I'm going to terrify. I mean, he was on a flight. He's like, I need peanuts and therapy. But she was a ballet dancer. She did like all bunch. She was also a photographer. I think she did a bunch of actually like semi-professional photography work. She got married to Wes Craven, snuck into a couple of his movies.
Yeah.
She's the nurse. I don't even think she speaks in this movie.
She was in Star Trek Voyager and Swamp
was.
Thing and ER and Seinfeld.
But was she in A Nightmare on Elm Street? Did she have a speaking line? I don't think she did.
No, I don't think so.
Fine. She's gorgeous. We'll let it slide.
Yeah.
But I'm throwing Sharon Stone in there because A, they're best friends, and also I think they kind of look alike. So that's my pick.
I'm never gonna say no to Sharon Stone.
I know.
Yeah.
I know how you love her.
I do.
Have you seen who's the guy who plays Bucky on Avengers?
Sebastian Stan?
Have you seen him on some late night show when he's hitting on Sharon Stone?
No.
Max, it is you need to immediately.
working?
It's like
She's like tough.
they're sitting next to each other and he looks at her and is like
Gaga.
I love
Yeah.
you, and they get like flirty with each other. It's really incredible.
I'll watch it.
She's like 60 now. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's still gorgeous.
She graduated college when she was 16.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you graduate college when you were, how old were you?
21.
Yeah, you were. Did you?
I was early. Yeah.
You were early. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. I was right at 4 years.
A hard six. A hard six. Yeah. I think you'll like my pick though. I went Julie Michaels, who plays Denise in Roadhouse.
Oh.
It's a nothing role. Why not have Denise?
No, well played. Well played. Also played the
Naked stabbing girl
in Point Break.
Yeah.
It's a great pick. This episode's going exactly as I thought it would. I'm very happy. All right, Max, that takes us to the nurse.
The teacher. We just did the nurse. Did you know the nurse was Mimi Craven? We should do that sometime. Just like keep going and be like, why are you keep going?
It's great. It's great. Max, that takes us to The Teacher. Now, The Teacher might look familiar to those of you who are film connoisseurs.
This is so wild.
Well, you immediately, when you go back and watch it, you'll know who she is.
Yeah.
So The Teacher is played by Lynn Shay.
Yep.
If you don't know who Lynn Shay is, I need you to go back. There are 2 movies, only 2 movies you need to watch. No, there's 2. And I don't accept that there's 1. You got to go watch Kingpin.
Yeah.
And you got to go watch Something About Mary.
Oh my God, the tanning scene.
And let's go to Kingpin first. She is the disgusting landlord who, to help Roy, Roy's the bowler. Oh no, Munson. Yeah, Roy Munson.
Yeah.
Took me a minute. Don't you Munson this, Max. That's another amazing movie, by the way. Have you seen Kingpin?
Oh yeah.
All right. So Munson didn't have his rent and she worked out a little
side deal,
which we won't talk about on the air. And then in Something About Mary, she's Magda. She's getting the self-tanning little dog. She's amazing. But in this movie, she's totally normal, totally chill.
Yeah.
She's a teacher.
She's good.
Yeah, she's really good.
And she's normal.
Very normal.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got for this, Max?
I'm going Glenn Turman, who played Roy Hansen in Gremlins.
It's a great pick.
He's a good teacher. He got eaten by a gremlin, but he's just a nice guy, and it just seemed like he was like ready to teach.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? I know. I was just messing with you.
That's what I thought. All right.
I'm going Karen Allen, who played Jenny Hayden in Starman.
There's a few other action roles that she played as well.
No, that's the only role she's ever played.
Indiana Jones, National Lampoon's
Never
Animal
seen it.
House. Okay.
Subpar. She's also Scrooge the girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scrooge the girlfriend.
It sounds like a movie.
Yes. It's a good pick.
Oh, I just saw What About Bob, by the way. I'm sailing.
It's a great movie.
I'm sailing. My therapist hates it.
Baby steps.
He goes, that movie.
Jesus. All right, back to your pick, Max.
Yeah, she's just sweet and kind of unassuming and like just got kind eyes. And
all right. Yeah. This pick sucks.
Mine does?
Yeah, I don't like it.
You said you liked it.
I changed my mind. I don't like it. I like mine better.
But
you're not going to know mine. There's no way you're going to know mine. Have you seen Vice Versa?
Yeah.
Okay, you have?
Yeah, with
Fred Savage and
Judd Reinhold.
Judd Reinhold.
Yeah.
You almost said Judd Nelson.
Martinis and
You got it. All right. So I went with, to replace the teacher, who was played by Lynn Shay. We didn't even talk about, we did. We talked at length about it. I'm losing it, Max. I haven't slept in days. I'm afraid that Krueger will get me if I close my eyes. I went with Beverly Archer, who plays Mrs. Luttrell. Do you remember the teacher and Vice Versa when Reinhold goes into the
crush
school,
that she thinks she has
and
a crush
she goes,
on her?
well, the reason you're son, and he goes, no way. She has tons of, she's a character actor, right?
Yeah.
So she's in like Alf, Mama's Family, like all these different
What's
shows.
Mama's Family?
You've never seen it?
No.
Oh my God. You got to see Mama's Family. It's a great show.
I like it.
Have you watched Golden Girls yet?
No.
You're a piece of work.
You haven't even watched Hellraiser.
Yeah, that's right. When you're done with Hellraiser, go to Golden Girls. Okay. These aren't
no, you win.
Picks.
You win.
I know yours is, she's a great actress. I just don't see how she would fit into this role, but
just shut up. That's how I see it.
I hate you so much. All right. That takes us over to the sleep doctor, Dr. King. Again, another mind blown moment when I went back to rewatch this. If you don't know the name Charles Fleischer, you should, because please, Eddie, he is the voice of Roger Rabbit.
It's freaking cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The minute I looked at him, I'm like, I know exactly who that is.
Does he sound like it in the movie, though?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And he barely has like 2 lines in the whole movie. He doesn't sound like him at all.
He's in Back to the Future, too, as well.
He is?
Who's Terry? That's who he is.
Is he the older guy wearing 2 ties who's doing the Save the Clock Tower, but in the future?
Oh, maybe.
I bet you that's him.
Let's look it up.
You look it up.
Okay.
Beep, bop, boop, 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 boop,
Terry,
boop, boop,
Back to the Future 2. Yeah, you got it.
Of course I did, man.
Nice.
Of course you are, darling. Do
Good pull.
you remember, have you ever seen Rising Sun with Sean Connery?
No.
That's a great movie, and Wesley Snipes.
That sounds good.
It's a great movie. There's a scene where they're going into this guy's house and they're both cops and they go up to Sean Connery and they're like, this guy's like, I have to warn you, I am a black belt. And he goes, of course you are, darling. He's so condescending.
That's really good.
He's my spirit animal. The condescending way in which he talks to people is definitely my spirit animal.
You're the man now, dog.
Yes. Welcome to the Rock.
She was the prom queen.
Easy.
Really?
Excited. Really? Oh, good speed.
All right, come
What
on.
you have in the way of schnacks? All right. I'm sorry. Woo! All right, Dr. King, you're up. I went first last time.
Okay, I went Steve Guttenberg, Newton Crosby in Short Circuit.
The Goot, you see?
Yeah, they got similar hair. They're both smart.
You get to talk about Short Circuit.
Yeah.
They do look similar. I see that. The Goot's good.
The Goot's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Goot's good.
Has the Goot ever done a horror movie?
Oh, wow.
Not in the 80s,
I'd
I
have
don't
to
think.
IMDb that Mother Scratcher and see. I don't know. Max, my pick is strategic.
Strategery.
It's a strategic pick.
It's not a word
So
yet.
because this is the voice of Roger Rabbit, I felt whoever had to replace him
Had to be the voice of something else.
had to be the voice. It had to be an actor.
Swedish Chef.
It had to be a known actor who also plays a incredible role, something monumental that you would know forever.
Because this is such a big role.
It's a big deal. So I went with, do you know who James Avery is?
No.
I'll give you a clue. Before Will Smith was slapping people at the Oscars, he was on a little show called The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. James Avery was Uncle Phil.
Oh, there you go. The voice of Shredder.
The voice of Shredder.
Yeah.
Would you like to know what movie I plucked in
License
from?
to Drive?
You got it,
Yeah.
baby. You're my guy. I'm so
love
happy
that.
you do that.
Okay.
At the DMV, when he was getting his test done.
With the coffee.
He was the proctor.
Yeah.
He's only got one rule. Don't spill my coffee.
That's a hard rule.
It's a hard rule.
Yeah, I would've failed.
can do that.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever tried eating cereal while driving? I object. But I could talk about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia all day long, by the way, but that's fine. That's a little Easter egg for our Always Sunny fans.
But this is a really good pick.
James Avery.
He's big, he's menacing, it works.
He's got to be the Shredder.
Intelligent.
I can't imitate Shredder, but I can imitate Krang. Shredder.
That's okay.
It's not great.
No, moving on.
I hate you. Before we move on, why don't we take a quick break for some words from our sponsors? Buzzn The Tower is also brought to you by Dobie Real Estate. You can find them at We Are Dobie. The only way to guarantee you don't end up on Elm Street is to use Dobie Real Estate.
Elm Street sounds nice, though.
It doesn't at all sound nice. I don't ever want to move to a block where like multiple children were murdered by a nefarious character with a fedora.
Well, not this Elm Street.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
Dobie Real Estate's going to make sure you make the right decision. They're going to guide you through this. They're not going to give you a house on a lake if it's called Crystal Lake. They're not going to give you.
I live next to Crystal Lake.
Yeah, you do anything for beachfront property. But the moral of the story is Dobie Real Estate is the best group in Michigan when you're looking for a house. Reach out to Simon and the team. Make sure you tell them that Buzzn The Tower sent you. They've got amazing resources, the best marketers, the best legal, the best agents. Reach out to them today. 400 million sales in 2021, 1,000 homes sold. They are the one-stop shop for all of your housing needs. Reach out to them today. All right, Max, we're back. Give me Tina Gray, played by Amanda Weiss. Tina is the first to drop and be murdered. She also has
Really
a
gruesome.
passionate night of lovemaking prior to this.
It's so loud.
It's very loud and uncomfortable for all of us.
Wee.
That's good. That's really good.
She was on the Highlander show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on Jag and Judging Amy.
Yeah.
And she was Phoebe in Silverado.
Yeah.
She was on Walker, Texas Ranger.
She was.
She knows the Norris.
She does. The Norris. Am I up first or are you up first?
I don't care.
I'll go first. You'll like this. I went Demi Moore, Jules from St. Elmo's Fire.
Wow. She's a little too wild.
This girl's wild.
But she's concerned.
No, she's wild.
Okay.
Look, her mom is wild. She's wild. She's like, oh, help me. Don't leave me alone with him. And then like 10 minutes later.
Yeah, that's
they're
true.
going
Yeah.
crazy.
And also like when she's freaking out, it could be like her in the room by herself.
Bingo, bango.
Was she trying to kill herself by being cold in a room?
I don't know. All I know is that like, my favorite Demi Moore is St. Elmo's Fire Demi Moore.
I thought you liked Cassandra Eldridge.
I like her.
You have a thing for.
But I have a thing for damaged. I like the damaged Demi Moore way more.
Yeah. There's some
There's my own personal therapy.
I've seen
issues.
some track record of girls in your life like that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Obviously prior to my beautiful and wonderful, not damaged wife.
I know. What happened?
I don't know. You get old, you grow, you fix things. Who you got?
I went Deborah Foreman, Julie in Valley Girl.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And she's been in horror movies before, too.
You know what? That's a good pick. That's better than mine. Because she fits the mold a little bit more, like...
Little whiny.
Well, plus, like, when you play that second string role in a
Yep.
horror film, Demi Moore's too big for that. She can't do that.
Yeah, I guess so. Either one works.
All
I
right.
just liked it.
All
And also I thought Sarah Jessica Parker would be fun as Janie. Girls just want to have fun.
I would say which Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, Janie. Girls just want to have fun.
I just watched Hocus Pocus 2 with my family last night.
I've never seen Hocus Pocus before.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. So anyways, next we're going to go to Rod Lane, played by Sue Garcia.
It's like Rocky in high school.
I was convinced initially that...
It's the guy from Weird Science, right?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
100%
Yeah.
convinced it was him, and it's not.
No.
His story's kind of tragic. I guess
Oh,
he
no.
was like at the time, he he cleaned himself up, but they were saying at the time of the shooting of this, he was a heroin addict and he was homeless. And then he got this gig on.
How do you audition for it?
I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, though, that's what people are looking for is this like real rough character.
He did look sweaty in this movie. Yeah. He's in Wildcats, too.
So I got a story for you.
Okay. You met him?
No. Do you know what other movie he's in?
Vampires in Brooklyn?
More important than that.
Collateral Damage?
More important than that.
We Were Soldiers?
More important than that.
The TV show Arliss?
Okay, now you're just reading from IMDb. Do you want to know what he's in that's the most important of all the things you just talked
I have
about?
no idea.
He's in Predator 2.
Shut up!
Now, here's the problem. You're going to have to go back and watch it, but there's a scene at the beginning of Predator 2.
He's gutted as like a...
No, he's not gutted. There's a scene at the very beginning when you've got Harrigan, Danny Boy, Leona, played by Danny Glover and Maria Conchita Alonso, and they're outside of that building where all of the Jamaican drug lords are in there and the Predator. This is at the very beginning of the movie. And when they're outside, they're arguing about going into the building. And behind them is one of the SWAT guys, and that SWAT guy is Garcia.
Oh, cool.
And they follow him inside. I can't find it anywhere, but when you watch it, it's hard to see. One of the SWAT guys picks up like an actual...
How much time do you spend on this?
A lot of time on this. Because I was like, he's not a Predator 2, and I had to go back and... I knew he didn't play Danny Boy. And that's the only thing I could think of. And whatever. So he picks up like one of the walkie-talkies, and he's like, I think he says, we've got first floor officer down, we need backup. I think that's who he is.
So that's his claim to fame?
That's my version of his claim to fame.
This is it.
It's Predator 2.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
He's really good in this.
Of all of my picks, this is my second favorite.
Okay.
So my first favorite is who I picked for Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
My Freddy Krueger pick is pure fire. But this is my second favorite of all of them. Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
I'm excited to go. Give me, for the role of Rod Lane, Patrick Swayze, Johnny Castle from Dirty Dancing.
He's 35.
He looks like he's 18.
Does he?
I think he does. Don't poop on this. I'm not going to let you poop on this. I love this pick.
So Patrick Swayze's never a love sick, like girl obsessed kind of guy.
Yeah, but I mean, like
Steel Town, USA, maybe.
Yeah, that's a great example. You just gave me the one.
But you have to use that movie.
But I don't have to use that. You just know it exists. It's in the stratosphere.
You made the rules very clear.
I want him from Dirty Dancing. I like Johnny.
He's too kind.
No, he's not kind at all. He's softened by
Nobody
Baby.
puts Baby in a corner.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody puts Freddy's gutting in the ceiling.
He's helping his friend
on the ceiling.
So stupid. Is he supposed to break out and dance when he gets hung? He starts dancing on the.
Go to your pick. I like this pick.
I went Gerardo Meja.
No idea who that is.
It's actually it's Rico. It's Ricky from Can't Buy Me Love.
Okay.
Who's Rico Suave. Rico Suave.
Yeah.
But he's good. He's
the name sounded familiar. I was like, it's not Rico Suave.
Yeah. But he's charming and good looking, kind of a bad boy.
I can't handle you.
He throws dog poop on a house.
You pick Rico Suave.
You poop on my house.
You're mad that I picked Patrick Swayze and you picked Rico Suave.
Mine's better.
Whatever, maybe. Next, Marge Thompson,
the
Nancy's
best role.
Alcoholic mother.
She's the when you watch this multiple times, she's the most fun to watch.
She's wild. She literally she pulls Nancy into the basement. She's like, we had to kill him. Nancy's like, what did you do, mother? She's like, well, the judge and the lawyers got fat on the case, but he got away because they didn't sign a warrant. So we did the right thing. And we poured gasoline all over him and lit him on fire. We had to protect you, Nancy.
Yeah.
She's got death in her eyes.
Yeah.
But he can't hurt you now.
And she's just drinking it away.
She literally just got back from the mental institution that she was at, or the sleep deprivation, whatever, where she took a fedora from the dream world into the real world. And yet her mom still's debating with her, no, he can't get you now.
Yeah.
The fedora won't hurt you, sweetie. It's okay.
She's so out there.
It's terrifying. Why don't you go first on this one since you pooped all over my Patrick Swayze pick?
So you need a weird mom who's out there and kind of what's with this chick? So I went Kim Darby, who played Jenny Meyer, Lane's mom in Better Off Dead.
Oh, that's good.
Because she's basically kind of playing drunk anyways.
Yeah.
She's just out. I mean, she's just strange.
I went a totally different I went emotionally numb, alcoholic, addiction person. You
nice.
went, silly, goofy. I went, you're going to like this, I think. I went Michelle Pfeiffer as Elvira from Scarface.
That's really good. She's just dead on the inside.
She's just totally dead on the inside.
Did she do it for you?
You going to marry me? When are you going to marry me?
You have the worst Tony Montana ever.
So true. It's terrible.
You just sounded punch drunk.
Perhaps in the darkness.
No
you'll
pain.
Marry me.
You have any backups?
No, I don't have backups.
Right. I went Mary Tyler Moore, Beth in Ordinary People. Yeah.
That's good.
A little too good of an actor for this, but
all right,
yeah.
All right, not terrible.
Yeah.
We're getting to the weird spots. All right.
Time for the Blood smoothie.
Glenn Lance, Johnny Depp.
Film debut.
Who you got?
Who's your favorite Johnny Depp, by the way?
Oh, wow.
I think Blow.
He's really good in Blow. God, that's tough. Can I pick the Amber Heard trial?
Sure.
That's probably honestly my favorite Johnny
Mega
Depp.
Pint.
My second favorite Johnny Depp has got to be Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, it's really good.
I love him in that. I'm not a big Pirates guy. Some people like that. That's not my thing.
And Captain's cool.
He was great in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he was. It was Bat Country.
Donnie Brasco. I liked him in that.
I don't like that much.
I dug that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so what do you got, Max? For the man, the myth, the man, the legend.
So you need someone unbelievably handsome,
sure,
charming,
yeah,
kind of boyish, fun.
Yeah.
And also when he dies, when he gets pulled into the bed and he's like, no, like you need someone who can freak out and you're like, no, I don't want this to happen. Who is the best at freaking out in movies?
Wow, you and I might have the same person.
It's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, okay, I have Tom Cruise.
Joel Goodson.
Oh, from Risky Business.
Yeah,
That's great. That's why I had two. That was
Nice.
perfect. Oh, that's
Love
great. We haven't had the same one in a long time. The minute you said the screaming and who freaks out in movies, I was like, yeah,
it's
perfect.
Cruise.
I'm so happy you picked this. Not only is he perfect, but the thing about Joel that's great is that Joel has got this little bit of like nerd awkwardness to him, paired with the fact that he's like handsome and obviously has guts.
Yeah.
You can't imagine.
So like when Johnny Depp's playing with the tape in the beginning, that's totally him.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Like that awkward, like he's not Garcia.
No.
He's not Blaine in this movie. You know?
There's some
like,
vulnerability to him.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Great pick. Man.
Wonderful.
Do you have
Love
any backups for this?
Josh Brolin in Thrashing.
I had Josh Brolin in Goonies.
Oh, nice.
That's so
Wow,
funny.
look at
That's
us.
fun. Look at us.
Look at us.
Who
Paul
would have
Rudd.
thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Not me. Not me, Max.
Okay, now we got Lieutenant Thompson, played by John
Lieutenant
Saxon.
Dan, played by John Saxon. What else was Saxon in?
Enter the Dragon, Black Christmas, Beverly Hills Cop 3. He's Oren.
I vaguely remember 3.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, he's in Running Scared. He's Captain
Running
Munoz.
Scared, I remember. Yeah.
Munoz.
Yeah, Munez.
Can't say it.
Yeah, that's okay. Words.
We might have the same one
words.
for this one too.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'll tell you. Well, I'm going to go first on this one.
So did you go Dad Core?
No.
Okay.
I went Cop Core.
Okay.
And I went like
Brian Dennehy, Rambo.
I thought about that. I went rugged, like, tough.
Okay.
Because if you think about it,
Crease.
up until the end, I mean, he uses his daughter as bait to catch a murderer.
Yeah, he's no joke.
He's no joke. I went Nick Nolte, Jack Cates, 48 Hours.
He's too old. He's looked like
Why is he that old?
He's looked like
he just looks that old. He's not actually that old. He's probably he's like 25 and 48 hours.
And there's something alcoholic about him the whole time. Like you can't have two alcoholic main parents.
Why not? Clearly Nancy hasn't been raised well. It's fine.
I like it. I don't love it. You're going to love mine. I can't believe you didn't pick this. I want Stephen Mock, who played Dell, Sean's dad in the Monster Squad.
That's really good.
Yeah, it actually is.
Damn it, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the right face, the dadness.
You nailed it.
Because there's got to be some kindness to like one parent.
He's got so this is why it's a wonderful pick, because in this movie, when you see Nancy's parents first see each other and it was like, why was she even out at school? And
exactly.
she's like, good to see you too. You can tell that they're either divorced or on their way.
Yeah, and there you go.
It's the same dynamic in Monster Squad that the mom and dad have. Great.
Woo!
You nailed it. Down to our last two.
That's exciting.
So the other rule I broke is on this next one for Nancy Thompson, who's played by Heather Langenkamp. What else was Heather in other than future Nightmare on Elm Street movies?
I love the names of her movies are great. Road Trash, Portal, Glitch, Plea. She played a big role in Growing Pains. She was Amy Botelier. I don't know who that was, but I like Growing Pains.
All right, yeah.
I used to, my sister used to watch Growing Pains, and
what would you do if you're in the darkness?
I used to call it Growing Brains, and it drove her nuts.
Sure. I would love to get a list of things that drove your sister nuts.
She
like dressing up like Ross Perot.
She more instigated with me.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're just an innocent bystander. Max, so one of the things that you do, that voodoo that you do, you try really hard to not use characters that you've used on previous recastings on current recastings.
Correct.
And I believe I am using a character that I did use on our, like literally our last recasting, but I cannot help it.
Judd Nelson.
No, not as Nancy. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly, Sarah, Labyrinth. Now, before you say anything, hear me out.
This actually fits.
I have two really good reasons for this. the flatness that you accuse her of having in Labyrinth fits perfectly with how
You're
Nancy
completely
is.
right. This actually
Secondly,
works. Yeah.
who in the last year you saw a movie with two actors who had the best damn chemistry in the world, and who were they?
Tom Cruise. Oh, yeah.
And
there you
Jennifer
go.
Connelly
Yeah.
in Maverick.
And now it's them as
Now
teens.
it's them as teens.
And now you get the added bonus that now Top Gun's like a reuniting of them. That's pretty good.
Bingo, bango.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, so-
you actually used her weakness as a strength.
I had to get you to buy into her at some
Yeah.
point.
There you go.
All right, good.
And career opportunities. Hello.
I know.
Humana.
Max, who do you have for Nancy Thompson?
I went Helen Slater, who played Billie Jean in The Legend of Billie Jean.
I like that.
Yeah.
She also played Supergirl. Don't ever forget about Supergirl.
I know. But
Which
she
you haven't seen yet,
She could
probably.
like halfway through freak out and shave her head.
Do you know why you need to see Supergirl, by the way? Which I
Because
know you
Hart
haven't seen.
Bachner's in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hans, Bubby. That's the only. Can I tell you? You have these moments where I love you so much, and you did it twice today.
Yeah.
One. What was the one you did at the beginning of the episode where you just knew immediately what I was referencing, and I was so excited.
The Great Outdoors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 66.
You crushed it.
Max.
Yeah.
No,
I thought
that was good.
I thought Jennifer Grey could do a good job too.
From.
Red Dawn mixed with a little Ferris Bueller.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
she's freaked out in Ferris Bueller when she kicks Mooney in the face. You know what I mean?
Rooney.
Yeah.
Edward Rooney.
Yeah. Rooney.
Pardon my French, but you're an a-hole.
Yeah. But she would have been good.
Are you ready for the big one?
Yep. I nailed this.
Freddy Krueger.
So I have 3 I think that could work better than any that
Whoa,
you have.
whoa, slow down, baby girl. Slow
Okay.
down. Robert Englund.
170 movie credits.
Isn't there some story about, isn't Robert Englund boys with Luke Skywalker? And didn't something happen? We did
Really?
a
With
story
Mark
on
Hamill?
this. Yeah, him and Mark Hamill. Maybe like Krueger told Hamill to go audition for Luke or vice versa. There's some story about
Oh,
this.
you're right about this. It's
Yeah, go to the computer. Find out for me. What'd you find?
he helped Mark Hamill get the Star
That's
Wars
right.
edition.
That's what
Yeah.
it was. I knew there was something that was tying the two because they were friends, and he was
Yeah.
like, "You should go do this." Okay.
And they're both voice actors. You know, Robert Englund was the voice of the Riddler from 2005 to 2007.
No, but that's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So Max, this is the big one.
Yep.
And you said you have 3. I only have 1, but I love mine. I'm
Okay.
like super excited.
You want me to
about
do my 2 backups and then?
mine. No, because it might be mine.
No, I don't think so. I really don't. You don't
I'd
like
be
these
super
people.
bummed if it was. All right, if I don't like him, go ahead. Give me your 2 backups.
I went Robert Zadar, who played Matt Cordell in Maniac Cop.
Okay.
He's also Chin in
And
Tango and Cash.
Cash and Tango.
Because he's kind of like, there's a little bit of humor to him, but he's so unique looking in the face. Like, you could put a lot of scars on there.
Would it be lost because of all the? Okay, I'm not going to debate.
That's
It's your
my
It's
third
your
backup. Yeah. My second backup was Rutger Hauer in Blade Runner and also The Hitcher.
That's a good one
'Cause he's
That was
terrifying.
That was my backup.
Because he's also funny a little bit.
And he's
too.
also got that like sunken eye, like depth of eye look.
It's
type
that
thing.
Norwegian, like, death is okay.
Swedish chef thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flurgen. Yeah, absolutely.
So who's your main?
I really like this one. In particular, he's perfect from the movie that I selected him, but recently has done some work that just validates my feelings on him doing this.
Okay.
On a little show that we like to call Dexter. I went with Clancy Brown, Kurgan from Highlander.
That's pretty good. Although he's in the new Freddy as the dad.
Oh, he is?
Remember, he's the girl's dad in the 2010 one, so it might be a little weird.
Damn it, you're right. You're right. God, you ruined it. I was so excited. Well, that doesn't ruin it.
No,
Yeah, this is because this is a Nightmare on Elm Street.
he's really good, and he's got a big face.
And then I think about him like just being a serial killer and
Yeah, yeah.
Dexter, and then I go back to Highlander, which was where I'm picking him from.
Kurgan,
He's terrifying as Kurgan.
That's really
De
good.
Flurgen to Gurgen. So he's
Yeah.
great.
Him in the in the church.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better burn out than fade away.
But you know the rule. There's no fighting on holy ground.
Yeah.
That's not, add that to the list. We need to talk about Highlander.
There's gonna be only one.
I am immortal. I'm butchering that song.
So I went with someone to get Freddy really going. There has to be something like fun and mischievous about him. You know what I mean? Like he's enjoying himself about all this.
Sure.
But he has to be terrifying while also being weirdly kind of charming and intense.
Walt Disney.
Or just ice him out. Yeah. I don't think you've seen this movie, but it's one of the scariest, strangest movies. I went Dennis Hopper, who played Frank Booth in Blue Velvet.
Dennis Hopper.
First of all, terrifying.
Speed. He's incredible.
Waterworld.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but what is Waterworld the movie? What's the movie with the bus that's got to go over 88 miles an
Pop
hour?
quiz, hot shot.
What
Yeah.
is it? What's it called?
The bus that couldn't slow down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Homer Simpson.
Blue Velvet, he's this like he's like a gang leader that just does a bunch of nitrous and like loses his mind slowly and like kidnaps people and is just laughing kind of the whole time and like is out of his mind.
It's a good. He's got a look to him that's like a very scary.
It is
devilish.
You don't even need to put the burn victim stuff on him.
Jesus Christ. Hey, speaking of which, if you could go outside of the 80s,
Yeah.
do you go Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal Lecter?
He is fun sometimes, but Hannibal's too refined.
So I feel
Dreams are a fun space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's too kind of put together.
Any era, who do you pick?
Any era.
Out of the 80s, anywhere, what do you pick for Krueger?
If they'd allow, if he was okay doing it, Daniel Day-Lewis, he'd lose his mind.
Yeah, he'd be good.
He'd lose his freaking mind.
Do you know who I'd go?
Who?
Jim Carrey.
Seriously?
Yeah, but I'd push him to see if he
Alrighty then.
So you're having some dreams, fatty. Hey, saddlebags. I'd love to see when Robin Williams did that movie where he was a serial killer.
1 hour photo.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I like seeing people who you wouldn't think of, like Jack Black as Freddy Krueger.
That'd be kind of cool.
Just something like unique like that, right? Because I think being a good comedian is a fine line between being a happy guy and being a serial killer.
Yeah, that's true. There's a darkness.
Bill
in him.
Burr
No.
as Freddy Krueger.
What are you doing down here?
I'm going to kill women because, women are stupid.
Jesus.
That's Bill Burr.
Go to the spotlight.
In a nutshell. Now, baby. That's me in a nutshell.
How did I get in this giant nutshell?
All right.
Hello.
Anyways, to the Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight. This week's Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight is an old friend and a new friend and even a bear. We got Caleb. Caleb was the first collaboration we ever did?
Yeah.
And he's been just such a good friend to both of us, friend of the show.
And he's moved to the Midwest.
Yeah, he is an absolute guru of the horror film genre.
Good, bad, hilarious, everything. Like,
so
he's seen it all.
He's got his podcast, Horse Soup.
Yep.
He's got his other podcast,
Scream
the Scream podcast. Is he working on anything else above and beyond that?
I don't think so right now.
If you're into horror films, I mean, he's typically a top 25 ranked horror film.
And he's
podcast.
a love to hate. You watch his reviews and people are like, Caleb annoys me. But like it's like the Howard Stern. Like, you want to listen to him.
He's great. He's always been so kind to us, and we love having him on. We've had him on before. We did the Nightmare on Elm Street box set with him on.
Yeah, we had to
show,
watch the whole thing.
And that was great.
Only for him.
I think we've had him on as a spotlight
man.
a couple times too. But
yeah.
For this week, we did a recasting, and we asked him to recast one of his favorite characters. I'm dying to see what he had. Again, please check out both of his podcasts. One is Scream ! That's how you search it and you'll find it. And the other is Horse Soup. They're both great. And let's hear what he had to say about our question of recasting.
Hello, people of Buzzn The Tower. This is Caleb from Scream and Horse Soup podcasts. So I hear Max and Mo are doing another little recasting. I love these things. They just, they get people and they say, hey, I don't want you in the movie. I want a new person. And around this time, I hear we're doing some Nightmare on Elm Street recasting. Good old 80s goodness. And, I think I would definitely recast Freddy as a very interesting person. The person that I would want Mr. Robert Englund replaced with in the original Nightmare on Elm Street would be none other than Rowdy Roddy Piper. He is a legend in his own means. He starred in movies like They Live and Hell Comes to Frogtown, both 80s classics, both incredible movies. He is an incredible wrestler. He's incredible everything. I love him. I love Rowdy Roddy Piper. And, I want to say that it's primetime thing. And then say that, like Rowdy, but that's not in the first Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's all, I can't finish the statement. This is a clean show, guys. Keeping it clean. Anyway, I've been Caleb from Horror Soup and Scream. Buzzn The Tower is amazing. Max and Mo, I love you guys. Rowdy Roddy Piper should be Freddy Krueger. That's all.
I came here to murder children and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of bubble gum.
It'd be really good, actually. That actually fits.
Do you know the best part about Caleb?
What?
I don't know if he's being serious. It's okay. I'm happy with it either way. I think it'd be hilarious to have the Piper, the rowdiest of Pipers, to have
a giant muscular mulleted Freddy.
Absolutely.
Does he have the hair still?
I don't know.
Just bursting out of the sweater.
This is why Caleb never lets us down.
Trolling.
This is great. It's either trolling or brilliance, or it's brolling.
No.
Trillions.
All right, it's time to go.
All right, it's time to go. Max, that concludes our recasting for the day. As always, I want to remind you, if you are not subscribed or following our podcast on whatever podcast player you are using, please go do so. Check us out on all social media at Buzzn The Tower. Go to our website, buy our gear, or if you want to spend some real dollars, and I'm talking like $3 a month.
$2.75.
head on over to patreon.com/Buzzn The Tower to support us the best way you can, which is through our Patreon. The rest of the month, we've got some great stuff lined up. Where we got a lot of Hellraiser. We got the new Hellraiser, the old I can't even say it. We got the new Hellraiser, the old Hellraiser, and we're going to talk about it. Yeah.
Great. Goodbye.
Max is afraid of the darkness, but
Goodbye.
the darkness doesn't care. You can't just say goodbye. How are you going to end the episode?
The pleasure and pain
How are
of
you
this
gonna,
episode.
How are you going to end the episode?
I'm going to end it by 1, 2, buckle your shoe. 3, 4, close that door.
You're not even doing it right.
5, 6. I like the band Sticks.
It's good, Max. That's good.
7, 8.
You can be done now.
For work, I am late.
You're good.
Time to go.
You're all set.
Goodbye.
You're all set. Goodbye. I'm your boyfriend now, Max.
Awesome. Started and ended the show with that. Love it.
Do you know what my second favorite scene is with someone on a phone that's not plugged in?
No.
No, Grandma. I didn't get it. I can't believe it myself.
Waterboy. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. He's in heels.
Oh, Max.
Glad I called that guy.
Have a great week. Enjoy your Hellraiser. I'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.